money, so we are doing that.
But
the choice, again, let me go back. No, Mr. Liss, I'm not done.
You know, Mr. Fouts, you go on for 10 minutes at a time.
Mr. Liss, I know, but for you, I have to go on for 10 minutes because it takes that long to penetrate the brain. I'm saying that it's either, the choices are either, Mr. Liss, you ask me a question and you interrupt me when I'm not even done. But go ahead, ask another question.
I'd like to ask another question.
Go ahead.
Next year, you're looking at a fiscal year 2013. Now, I don't know if you're going to be here or not. I don't know if I'm going to be here or not. But in 2013, we're looking at a $15 million fund deficit, $16 million maybe. And with the cuts going on statewide, it might get worse. The tax situation is not getting better. The proposal laying heavily, it will never get better. It will never go back up, except for the rate of inflation, which is a wash. So if you have a projected $16 million fund balance, how are we going to balance the budget next year? You have an $11 million projected fund deficit this year. You have a currently projected fund deficit of $7 million. You had a $4 million the year before that, $2 million before that. By the time you're done in office, Mr. Fouts, you will have spent $25 million more than we brought in.
Well,
I want to know numbers, how you're going to address that. Because next year, we're going bankrupt.
With all due respect, Mr. Liss, I profoundly disagree with you. We are not going bankrupt. We have a strong administrative team, such as Skip McAdams, who's generated over $2 million, Jerry Green, who was reduced by $2 million. But what you seem to be saying, and I don't know how accurate your figures are or what have you, I don't know, as you said, Mr. Liss, I don't know if I'm going to be here next year. You don't know if you're going to be here next year, and no one in here knows for sure they're going to be here. So in terms of projecting disaster, it's fundamentally wrong. I do know that if I'm here next year, we are going to continue to vigorously work on generating money, on cutting unnecessary spending as best we can. And I know with Jerry Green as the police commissioner and Skip McAdams as the fire commissioner, they're going to do everything they can to make sure that that so-called disaster that you're predicting does not happen. I do know that what you seem to be alluding to is what happens with Lou Schimmel, and that is that Lou Schimmel needs to get the agreement from the firefighters union. He needs to get an agreement from the police union to agree to some substantial cuts that are necessary in order to help us survive. But it is a combination.
If substantial cuts, it won't save the budget.
Well, okay. Again, you interrupted me, but go ahead. You have your editorial comments, so obviously you know what's going to happen. I can't project in the future. Maybe your projection of the future.
We're here to plan for the future. I mean, that's the whole deal. That's why we're doing this
well,
budget.
That's why,
Mr.
Liss, that's why I'm proud to say that despite your doom